Great. All right. Well, welcome all. My name is Thea, and we're going to talk about the LuLaRoe opportunity today. So Jessica and I are going to tell you a little bit about our experiences with LuLaRoe, and then we're going to open up to questions so that you can ask us anything that you want. So I started LuLaRoe about a year ago. When I started, I live in Massachusetts, and in Massachusetts, there were probably like 5 of us throughout the state doing LuLaRoe, and no one had a clue what I was talking about. When I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this new thing, and we have these clothes," and people were like, "All right, that's weird." So, it was a little difficult at first, just getting some brand awareness out there, and just like getting people to understand what it was that I was doing. It I started because I wanted to have more cash, like probably like all of you. I have 2 kids, and I work full time, and they go to daycare, and daycare is expensive. So I wanted to have a little more money so that we could go on family vacations and do all the fun things that I wanted to do, that I felt like we were doing all right, but just not all right enough to do that type of thing. And so I went to my sponsor's pop-up. She had a pop-up with a mutual friend, and I was like, okay, let's see what this thing's all about. I was like, okay, it's clothes, but I didn't really think anything was going to fit me or whatever, and I was just going to support a friend. And I got there, and I just was like, wow. I looked around, and I got there 5 minutes late because I wanted to be cool. I didn't want to get there too early. So I got there 5 minutes late, and there were women running around with like piles of clothes, and everyone's so excited. And when I tried on a few things, I was like, all right, I'll at least get a maxi skirt. And everything I put on, I loved. And I'm sure you've had the same experience where it's just like, wow, I can't believe that I really like all of this. And I decided that this is something that I think I could do, and it could help us out in our situation. And in like the past year, things have just changed so tremendously. Like, I used to do like a pop-up maybe like once in a while, and now I am booked out to the end of the summer. I'm booked out to August because people now know what LuLaRoe is. They understand it. I mean, the more people that join, the better it is for all of us. We're just there's more awareness. It's fun. I reached that goal of being able to do what I want to do, like to be able to go on a vacation. I've done that, but now my goals are much bigger, and I've found a lot of other things that I really wanted to do out of LuLaRoe. Like, I have found great friendships, and I always think it's really important to be with people who are like-minded. And with LuLaRoe, it's this great culture of women helping each other. And I know that sounds really cliche and like ridiculous. Like, is that really true? But it really is. Like, we really help each other out. You see it every day. Like, if you have something that you need help with, you just put it out there, and anyone will come and help you out. So that's just a brief little overview of my story. I don't know, Jessica, do you want to talk? Let me unmute you.
Hello. So some of you guys are on here for me, definitely. I heard of, well, let me back up a little bit. So those who know, I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, and with that education came quite the load of debt. And much like Thea, we make a pretty good living, but we're pretty much paycheck to paycheck, and I just wanted to get ahead. We want to move to a different area that's a little bit more pricey, and we were kind of looking for a way to do something a little bit more to make some more money. So we talked about one of us picking up a second job, and looked at some other direct sales companies, and just didn't know what the best thing to do was. So in the meantime, a couple girls that I know started getting crazy about these leggings in May, and I started seeing my friends posting these. Can you guys see me? It's saying my internet is unstable.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. Started posting about these leggings, and so I started following Thea because that's where everybody was buying them from around here that I knew. And I really, when I signed on with Thea and talked to Thea, I didn't even own a piece of LuLaRoe clothing. But I talked to Thea and saw the opportunity and thought, hey, I have a lot of friends that get dressed up every day for work and love comfy clothes. And about that time, I don't know exactly how many consultants there were in Maine, but I knew when I signed on, I reached out and got in touch with about 12 girls that I could find in Maine. And now we have a Maine consultants group on Facebook, and I'm sure it doesn't even catch everybody, but there's about 68 girls in that group right now. And same with like what Thea said, the resources with, hey, I need some leggings, or another girl in Lewiston was trying to launch Maxis, and Maxis were back ordered, so she put out there, hey, who has some Maxis, and I sold her, 5 or 6 Maxis that I had doubles of just to help out. So even not in our upline, people that are in different teams, we help each other out. So I onboarded it was right around end of Thanksgiving, so I started selling in December. And I kind of thought, hey, it's be like a little bit of a fun thing on the weekends. We'll make a little bit extra money and we'll dabble in it and we'll see what happens. We'll give it 4 or 5 months. I can say that it has spiraled out of control. Sales and people's interest is huge. I think my first available opening for a pop-up is July 30th, maybe. I'm booking into August as well. And every day I'm giving events and pop-ups to people in my downline in the area, or today I posted on the main group, hey, who can do this event because somebody contacted me and I can't do it. So I agree with Thea. There's definitely some concern with oversaturation, but I find that the more that people sell around here, the better that I do in general. So I can say, I know I've talked to some of you guys about cruise qualifying and things like that, so I have definitely hit the mark on that as well. I mean, I'm doing 500 to 600 pieces a month right now, and that's with part-time. We probably put, my husband and I, our team, we probably put in 20 hours a week with it. I do 1 in-person pop-up a week and 1 online sale a week usually. And we're getting those numbers out of it right now. So I don't know. Anybody have any specific questions? Anybody want to see us, Brian? I know I've talked to some of you guys quite a bit, and I want to give you guys, my goal for this is to give you guys somebody else's perspective and to see somebody above me that's at a different level, and go from there. So you guys can answer specific questions.
Any questions? No questions? Come on.
Grilla. Somebody's got to have something.
No. Okay, well, I'll just address things I know that people have asked me before. So I know a lot of people who are considering LuLaRoe will ask, what happens if you have a print that can't sell? And the normal response is everything sells. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's really true. So with LuLaRoe, as you probably know, we only have about, I don't know, it's like 2,000 pieces are made out of each fabric. So there'd only be 2,000 things made out of this particular fabric. So we all have different inventories. Everything looks different, whoever has it. And you might have something that you've seen for a while. You might be hanging around for a month or maybe even longer. But when you're doing these pop-ups, you're meeting new people all the time. So what might be old to you is brand new to somebody else. So everything seriously does sell. Even if you think it's like the ugliest thing you've ever seen, for someone else is absolutely beautiful. So different stuff for different folks, and it's really great. That's one thing I like about this model, unlike other things, is that I know everybody likes clothes. It's not something that people feel like, oh, I already have so many necklaces, or oh, I already have so many lip glosses, I don't need any more. With clothes, you can nearly find a justification for needing something else. So whether it's I can wear this to work, and I can wear this to the soccer field, or I have an event to go to. There's always some reason for people to come back to you. I have people that shop with me every week, and like, that's crazy. I can't believe you shop with me every week, but who doesn't go to the mall like nearly all the time? So it's a really comfortable way of shopping, and like, you might know a lot about online, but the in-person is just as great as online. In-person drives my online sales because then people get to try things on. They get to feel how the fabric feels, and go outside of their box.
I think too that's part of the fun of it. Like I honestly can say I definitely joined for the money, and I definitely joined to get out of a hole. I can say now that I definitely enjoy a lot more with it. It's awesome to see somebody who's like, oh, dresses like that never fit me, or I never would wear a shirt like that, or oh, that's not, I can't do leggings. And then when they try things on, you see them walk out and their eyes light up. It's pretty amazing to see people feel good about themselves, and to know that they really like the line, and then it makes them feel empowered. And like Thea said, the friendships that have come out of it, Wesley, the friendships that have come out of it are awesome. There's a girl, Trisha, who is leading the queue right now, and she's been helping me out a lot. And I called her last minute because all of a sudden my pop-up last weekend went from like 15 people to 35, and I was panicking a little bit. And so I called her and said, hey, you want to talk with me? And we got to spend the afternoon together and talked about a lot of things. And she gets to see how it works and gets firsthand experience, and I get some help, and she gets some free clothes. So it's great to expand, and like Tia said, be with like-minded people and people that have goals, and we definitely motivate each other. And it's great. You have a list of topics over there, Thea?
Not really.
Yeah, do you have a store like in your home? How do you do it? Do you
I bring my stuff to other people. So I do have, I'm fortunate to have a little room in the basement where I store my things. And then like, maybe one or two people might come over every once in a while, but I work during the day, so I don't really have that many people that come over. So what I do is I do one time a week, I do one time a week, I do pop-ups where I'll go to someone's house and I'll bring my inventory with me. So for that, I like to do racks because I don't really like folding things. So I have a few racks that I got from Bed Bath & Beyond, like, the commercial grade ones, and they fold down. And you just bring everything, just pop it up in someone's living room or wherever, spread out throughout the kitchen, and people come over and shop and try on the clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you've been to my house, but in my basement, or my poor husband's man room, it's now a clothing store. West left.
Yeah, this was Al's office. Oops.
Sorry, Al. So it's most of the time set up down there, and I do let people host here, just sometimes to save lugging stuff, or if somebody is local and they want a last minute party, I'll let them come shop in my basement. I've done some open houses too at my house where I bring everything upstairs and pop up in my living room, dining room area just to have some more space. But most of the time I go to people as well.
Excuse me, how long is it taking you to set up and break down?
Set up 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then breakdown takes me maybe half an hour. It's a
lot. You're a pro now.
Pro, I'm getting fast. I'm getting really fast. I always tell my hostesses that things go a lot faster if they help. So I usually get help.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like Claire, like this is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. And that's one thing that you should do is always prep your hostess as to what to expect. Because no one believes when you're like, oh, I have a ton of stuff I'm bringing. They have no clue that you're bringing a store to their house. Like what you see online is like, oh, you don't have that much stuff. But then when you like pack a car, that is a ton of stuff. Uh-huh. So I always tell people, I'm going to need some help. So come and help me out. I need you to, if more hands will make this a lot faster, at least to get the stuff in the house. And they always do.
You get a rhythm too. Like people always ask, hey, can I help you pack up? Can I help you unpack? And it's like the biggest thing you guys can do is help me lug stuff to and from the car, because I have a method and it just goes so fast just to pack up and unpack, and you kind of know where your stuff is and how you packed it up. And there's all kinds of tricks to getting things. The IKEA bags are the best things ever. You use garment bags, don't you, Thea?
Yeah, I like garment bags. But, I mean, when you start off, your inventory isn't going to be as big as mine. I mean, you're going to start with a little bit, and that really helps you to get to know your products and to know how you want to set it up and how quickly to bring things up and down. But I'd say generally give yourself an hour.
And I know people do
she frozen for everyone or just me?
Oh, you're back.
I'm back? Okay, it was me. I didn't know who it was.
It's you.
It's me.
I'm helping your husband, but he's not listening.
Oh, yeah, the kids.
So, when I started off with doing 3-hour pop-ups, but then I was taking 5 hours, and it just kind of dragged. So I've backed down to 2 hours that I say I'm going to be there, and I might even go back to an hour and a half, just because by the time you tell people they can shop, from 11 to 12:30, and then they linger, but then you have to wrap up with the hostess. So if you do an hour and a half, then it usually lasts about 2 hours, and you have your half an hour, 40 minutes to get out of there. That's what I'm finding. I don't know how long you.
Yeah, right now I've been doing 2 hours, but I plan on going back to an hour and a half. And what I do, like right around the 2 hour mark, if I'm not checking people out, I just start packing. Like, oh, are you looking at these perfect teas? Because they're going in the bag. And then it starts clearing out there. Like, okay, let me know what you're not looking at. And you just start packing up. Because you don't want to be there all the time. You don't want to be there all day. And you also don't want to be like in the hostess's space forever. So, just try to be respectful of everyone's time.
I try to do like like bring a friend, or I try to post come in the first half hour and get $5 off, or like posting like shop early. That way you get the best selection, so that way people show up in the beginning, because people will literally try on things for an hour and it's fine and it's fun, but they don't realize how once they get there how long it's going to take to try every piece on and decide what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about money a little bit? 'Cause I know it's kind of like the elephant in the room with the onboarding, because I think everybody is excited to do it and everybody wants to do it, but the big barrier sometimes is that initial investment.
Right. So the initial investment is between $5,000 and $6,000, and that gets you about 300 or 350 pieces. And that is obviously a big amount of money, but the best thing about LuLaRoe is that you own your clothes. So anything that you make off the clothes, you get back. So you decide how you want to pay yourself back. And generally, most people are able to pay themselves back within 3 months. I know that was the case for me. I don't know, Jessica, do you have anything on?
Yeah, I made enough in the first 6 weeks to pay back my initial investment, so that initial $5,000. But I put a lot of probably most 80% of my profit back in and grew my inventory really fast. So I went from 350 pieces at the beginning of December to, I bet if I counted now, I'd be close to 900 to 1,000 pieces. So I dumped that back in. I probably have about 3,000 left on credit card right now. I did a 0% credit card for 18 months. So probably have about 3,000 on that, but I probably have, $10,000 to $12,000 of wholesale cost inventory in my basement. So if I said I was done tomorrow, I could sell to other consultants if I want to at minimum, and still turn a profit at the end. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of inventory.
Right. And I think that's something a lot of people do, is they do a lot of investing back into their business, because it really helps if you have selection within the products that you sell. And so the way I looked at it, that at the very beginning, that this was money that I didn't already have this money. So I was just going to continue to put back into my business until I decided I was at a point where I could start paying myself back. Mm-hmm. So for me, that wasn't really until 3 months or so, once everything was all set, then I was like, okay, well now I can start putting things into savings and deciding how I want to split up the cash.
And that's what, and like on all the webinars I watch and all the trainings I listen to, everyone says the more you have, the more you sell. And it's true. When you have 350 pieces, I was having like 30-piece parties, which was great for online, and 15, 20 pieces in person. But now that the inventory is so much bigger and people have so much more selection, I'm consistently having 70 to 100 piece sales online, and in person is anywhere from like 20 to 50 pieces, depending on the turnout. So when people have more to choose from, then they definitely tend to buy a little bit more. So the turnaround is definitely
it sounds weird, but it's totally true. It's I don't know. I also find that if I don't have a lot in a certain size, that someone might be like, oh, I'll just take one, and like they're being nice to their friends or something. But if there's a lot there, they'll take everything that they like.
Definitely. And I find too that there was a time, like there was an order, there's a weekend, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I was down to I usually have 10 to 15 of each size Irma in stock, but I was down to 4 or 5 of each Irma, and I was so worried because my order didn't come in, and I think I even wanted to be a little bit that, I barely any Irmas, but that weekend I sold so much other stuff, it was insane. I got people trying on dresses, and I was so worried that people weren't going to have Irmas to match with their leggings, but that just kind of pushed them to to go on to something else and to move on to something else. And even with, leggings not being super available right now, people are buying way more profitable stuff. So we're moving a lot of other things that people are moving on from leggings to sessions and turning into dresses.
Yep. Very true.
Any other questions? Anybody have?
So the wait right now is for onboarding, like 3 to 4 months. That's what I'm seeing a lot of, like 3 to 4. You sign your stuff and then, or is it a couple of weeks?
I would say that onboarding, that the wait right now is at least 2 months. That's what I've been telling people.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, everything that LuLaRoe has, they had to pre-order ahead of time because everything's getting produced. So we're building the company in concordance with how the inventory is growing. So we can't just let everyone come in at the same time because then there wouldn't be enough for everyone. So it's a measured growth.
Another question I have is I've been obsessed. Obviously, Jessica knows I'm on her site every week. But other consultants have there's so many more different things. I've seen all sorts of different products. Is there like a wait before you can add these different things into your inventory?
No, there's not. So when you start, you have you seen the initial thing? But when you start, anyway, you pick whatever product you want to start with. So I think it's like a dress, a skirt, a top, leggings, and maybe something else. And then once you're in, you can order whatever you want when you want to. Why most people take their time growing is because you want to have selection within the products that you currently have before you expand into something else. Like for me, I made the mistake of too soon buying Amelia's because I really wanted dresses with pockets, and I thought everyone's going to want this, and I was like, I gotta get it. But then at the meantime, I wasn't then building up my Nicole, so then my Nicole sales tanked, no one was buying anything, and now I was like, I'm having trouble here because I have this more expensive product that I don't have a lot of because the other things that we're paying for I don't have anymore, So you just want to take your time when you grow your inventory, that you grow what you currently have before you start expanding. But there are a lot of different things that we have. There are 4 different types of dresses. There are 6 skirts. There's Maxie, Azure, Cassie, Madison, Jill, Lola, and Lucy. I think that's it. Then we have 4 or 5 tops. There's a lot of different things that we have, and you can expand into anything that you like. And I always tell people that the best thing to order is whatever you like to wear because you're the model. So if you're not going to wear it, you're probably not going to sell it if no one sees it, you ever wearing it. So always keep that in mind when you're picking your things.
I can see, and that's what, so I did onboarded, and then I built everything I had up to 10 to 15 per size. So that's what I read and was told to do. And then this winter I brought on the Sarah and the Randy. And then this spring I brought on Azure and Perfect for spring. And my kind of game plan was maybe to bring on Amelia in the fall, and maybe some of the other Shaw's, the Monroe and the Lindsay to kind of cover up in the fall when we get cooler and rain again. Trying to go with the season. My biggest struggle is trying to figure out how much to have that I can lug around because my car is pretty packed at the moment, and I already bring 2 doubles and a single rack when I go to a show, and I have a table that holds all the kid stuff and a table that holds all the leggings. So I'm trying to find, and it's different for everybody, I think, kind of the sweet spot of how much inventory to have, how many styles to have, and move on from there. But I think that's what's great about it too, because I may not carry Amelia's, but literally the girl who's selling across the street from me is going to have Amelia's. So if you want to try on an Amelia and I don't have it, I can say, hey, go across the street, and she has them. And we can help each other out that way. And Flash Forward Friday, if you onboard on our team, then once you're on, you can join Sia's Friday night group, Flash Forward Friday, and that's where a bunch of other people, as you guys know, I think most of you guys are on it. Everybody puts what they have, and we all have different inventory and different styles, so it gives people a good variety.
I love that group.
Thanks.
I even shop it. It's even when you're a consultant, you still shop. You still have that one. I think, Ashley, you bought my unicorn print, and I can't find it in my size for the life of me. But I'm not in too many groups because I get overwhelmed. So I'm only in girls in our teams group. But I still haven't found it in my size yet.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Hey, if you find it, you get brownie points. I need a medium Cassie.
Anybody have anything else? Any other questions?
Let's let Liz jump on. Who has space questions? Does somebody have issues with space in the house? Are they on?
Oh, me.
You? Okay. Did Liz send you the pictures? Did you send the pictures, Liz? Or are you?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
She
okay.
did. You were breaking up. I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
But that's really neat.
Yeah, I think you can make it work. It's always amazing when people put on our Facebook pages, like, how do you store your stuff? And some people literally take over their whole living room and they don't have a TV anymore. And some people have tons of extra space. So I think you do what works for you and you keep enough inventory that you can hold. But I know a lot of people do totes and those hidden cubbies and kind of put it along the side of the wall in the dining room with a privacy shield around it. But
yeah, a lot of people, what I find most people do is whatever way that they store their stuff is usually how they will present it. So I like to hang things, and I'm fortunate enough to have somewhere to hang my clothes all the time. And other people will bring things in baskets, so their stuff is stored in baskets, and so they can like push it away when they're done with it and bring it back out. But there's no right way in how to hold on to your clothes.
I started off hanging skirts up, and then I got angry with the skirt hangers, and now I have them in the closet organizers, and I have them laying down. So there's like a cubby for each one of them, and that works well. And they just stay in that, and I lug them around in that. And now I hang maxis on multi-level hangers. They have like 5, so I have 5 maxis on each hanger. You can go from there, but you can definitely do things in totes and baskets, and there's all kinds of good ideas. Like if you hunt around that, so you want to be a how does it called?
LuLaGirl?
Yeah, LuLaGirl group. There's all kinds of pictures of people posting stuff in there, and lots of fun ideas. And you see somebody else there, you go ahead and do it. Anybody else with anything? Did we answer the question about the weight? I think, did you say 12 weeks?
Yeah, I said 2 months.
Yeah. I heard did you hear a rumor that they're increasing it?
I did.
Okay.
But I didn't want to say if I don't know.
Okay,
But I did hear a rumor that onboarding is going to be going a little bit faster.
So that's always good. And it gives you time to prep. I can say that I thought I had all the time in the world because I got my call within like 4 or 5 days of submitting, and I got my inventory within 3 weeks, and I thought I had tons of time, but I had to figure out a lot when I had inventory sitting in front of me, and I already had that yet. You guys definitely have the advantage of getting things ready and slowly the cost of adding things in and figuring out how you want to do stuff and watching your sponsors, your local sales and ask questions and really get a good grasp on what your game plan is going to be versus I kind of hit the ground running and didn't know what direction I was going and had to make a lot of quick decisions, and some of them were right and some of them I had to redo. And you guys are definitely at an advantage that way.
I agree. I got my things and I was like, great, what am I going to do?
What did I do? All these boxes.
Like, oh, it's a lot of stuff, yay. And then I'm like, I'm like so overwhelmed. I don't even know how to organize this. So I think I see what people are doing now and they are so prepared. Oh, is someone else talking?
I'm a webinar.
Somebody with them.
Oh, okay.
I can say too, support is great. I don't know. I mean, Wes is on the webinar with us, but it's getting your significant other, friend, best friend, cousin, somebody to help out. I think a lot of us have a helper, whether it's a friend or a husband, and that is a huge asset to have somebody that is willing to do it with you. And I mean, I think every night we're down in the basement, usually working on stuff. We were doing shipping before I jumped on the webinar. So I think having somebody to help you out and support you and work with you on things definitely takes some of the stress off and makes everybody feel like they're contributing. And definitely just because they're guys doesn't mean they can't help. I know some husbands are running pop-ups by themselves with half the inventory for some of the main girls. So it's like never.
I don't know if I can get out there.
I took a picture of Wes in leggings, but we won't talk about it.
Piano legs.
Paula's laughing. Don't worry, Wes. So I just think that is a huge piece of it. If
I
you
need to
have
go
that.
upstairs. I can't. My phone's dying.
There's a great webinar too of with LuLaRoe, with Thea's husband and Thea's sponsor's husband. There's another. So.
And we can definitely share that webinar with all of you.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions before we close out?
Hey, can anybody hear me?
Did someone say, can you hear me?
Hey, is it Bethany?
This is really creepy.
Hey!
What is
I don't actually use this thing, so I'm just trying to pipe in about the weight.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people who are interested, who are discouraged with weight. I want to second what you were saying about advantageous, because I found that when I started, I placed my order for everything. I got everything fairly quickly, like everybody else, and I ended up being an absolute hot mess when I was launching because I had like no hangers, so I was like digging through boxes of stuff because my hangers hadn't come, and all that stuff. So you're actually at somewhat of an advantage having a chunk of time that you can't do anything but prepare yourself and get organized, because you really need that when you start off. It'll just make the initial, your first sale, like way better for you mentally.
Yes. It's shocking. When those boxes show up, it's shocking.
Yeah. And like, so I was literally like looking through boxes and boxes of stuff trying to find people's sizes. And I was like, I don't know. I don't remember what box I put it in. So doing that and being disorganized for your launch sale is just overwhelming. Whereas if you've got everything hanging up, or if you have everything organized in totes or however you're going to store it, much easier to go through and pull stuff and take pictures of fabrics and that kind of stuff. So when people are asking you questions about whatever.
I remember my first Facebook sale. I mean, we all go on Facebook all the time. I was like shaking at the computer. I was like so nervous. And people, you know, were asking questions like, oh, how does this fit? And I'm like, I have no clue about anything. So one thing is, you know, this whole preparation is great because you'll hear a lot of tips on how people do things, and people will explain to you like, oh, this is how I do it. This is how I set this up. And you can kind of decide before you even get going which way you want to do your parties. Oh, another thing I also did a lot of vendor events when I started because I'm kind of shy. So it was good for me to like put myself out there just to talk about LuLaRoe and to explain what the things are, how things look, how things fit. And it helped me to know my inventory a whole lot better than if I had just hid in the corner like I would have normally done.
I don't have that problem ever, but it does help you get your name out there.
I forgot what I was going to say.
All right. So anything else, ladies?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to probably do this again another time. And if you'd like to join us then, that'd be great. And I hope you all put in your paperwork and come join us, because we are a lot of fun and there are great women on this team. And I know you'll find a lot of support. So till next time. Bye.
Later. Bye.